Which one of these two mesquites is pruned to the ANSI standards, the industry standards? Or I could say which one of these two mesquites is pruned for the greatest amount of benefits and longevity and the least amount of headaches with storm damage and broken limbs. I'll give you a moment. I hope you said the one on the left, because the one on the left, that mesquite on the left, has a full crown, a top, a middle, and a lower, while the one on the right is completely missing its inner and lower crown. Removing the inner crown is the new topping. Remember in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even in the early 2000s, it was popular to top trees. Over time, the word finally got out how harmful topping trees is. But now, the word to get out is how harmful removing the inner crown is. We want a tree just like this full mesquite here. When we're pruning trees at Romeo Tree Service, the main takeaway point, or the short of the long of it, is that we nurture the inner crown of the tree. When you look at this neighbor's tree, it's all missing the inner crown. It's top heavy essentially. It's like a sailboat's sail that's been turned upside down. It doesn't work well. It'll capsize. The inner crown on this tree has only regrown within the last 7 or 8 years. It used to look like that neighbor's tree. It's grown new growth sprouts. All of this material here is new growth. It didn't happen while the tree was growing. It happened after the inner crown was removed. And we're glad that it has sprouts, because those sprouts are a new opportunity to regrow that all-important inner crown of the tree. So you ask, why is this inner crown so important when you see all your neighbors taking out all of that inner crown? Well, this inner crown is so important because the tree actually has a physiological response to grow every branch on it thicker in diameter and stronger when it has an inner crown. That way it can grow longer. We won't have any worries about it. Secondly, when a tree has an inner crown, it uses that inner crown as a vibration reduction system. Imagine in this neighbor's tree when a strong monsoon wind comes through and it starts shaking like a mop head, right? It doesn't have anything to absorb all that vibration of the wind. You know, a way that I like to put it is, imagine if you had some bells hanging way out here and there was a 10-mile-an-hour wind and those bells were ringing. Well, if suddenly I just took away this entire inner crown, those bells would start ringing a lot louder with that same 10-mile-per-hour wind, because all of this vibration reduction system has been taken away. So when you take out that inner crown, like on this neighbor's tree and every other tree in the neighborhood, when you take that inner crown, not only are you causing limbs to grow fast, long, and weak, but then when the wind does come, there's nothing to absorb that energy, and it all whips out to the end of that fast, long, weak limb, and that's when you get storm damage breakage. A third reason why it's so important to keep this inner crown has to do with how the tree photosynthesizes, collects nutrients from the sun, specifically in low light conditions. Let me explain it this way. The material at the very top, because it's not as sensitive to the sun, because it's in direct sunlight, Tucson, Arizona, mid-July, mid-afternoon, it's not as sensitive to sunlight, and so it does a better job at collecting nutrients in direct sunlight. But the lower you go down in the crown of the tree, obviously the more shaded it is, and the more sensitive this green chlorophyll material is, and so the better it does at collecting nutrients in lower and lower and lower light conditions. Low light conditions don't just happen during cloud cover. More importantly, they happen during dusk and dawn every single day for about 5 to 7 hours. So that means trees that have all of this nice inner crown are spending 5 to 7 hours more than trees that have no inner crown every single day for their 25 or 125 year life. Those nutrients don't just benefit the scaffolding system. Those nutrients that are collected from photosynthesis, those nutrients also go into a strong, efficient root system. And when you have a strong, efficient root system, you end up getting an extremely strong and efficient scaffolding system. So keep the inner crown of the tree. And if you just happen to remove it, like all of these trees, then allow it to grow back its inner crown in the form of sprouts. Now, you don't exactly want the sprouts to start dominating at the top, but you don't need to remove the entire sprout. You can make reduction cuts to keep the sprouts subordinate. Nurture that inner crown. This time lapse shows how we're able at Romeo Tree Service to nurture the inner crown of a mesquite. Notice that we are staying at the outer parts of the tree and we're not taking branches out of the middle. We do this with poles, tall orchard ladders, and rope and saddle climbing.